Have you ever stopped to think about the most sophisticated, most mind-bogglingly complex machine on the entire planet? Well, guess what? You're living inside of it right now. Today, we're going to pop the hood on the human body and see it not just as a bunch of parts, but as this perfectly tuned, incredible organization. So if I asked you, what's the most sophisticated organization on Earth, you might think of some giant tech company or maybe a government. But nope, the answer is the human body. Seriously, just think about it. It's like a massive corporation with literally trillions of employees. We're talking about yourselves, and they're all working together in these different departments or systems to keep the whole show running 24/7 without you ever having to think about it. So where do we even begin at sort like this? Well, with any organization, you got to start with the foundation, right? The actual building and the security team at the door. For our bodies, that's the framework. These are the systems that give us our shape, let us move around, and protect us from everything the world throws at us. So who's on this framework team? Well, there are three main players. You've got the skeletal system, which is our internal scaffolding. Then there's the muscular system, which provides all the power and movement. And finally, the integumentary system, and that's just a fancy way of saying your skin, hair, and nails, which is basically our frontline security detail. You know, it's so easy to think of our bones as just, well, a frame, just dead scaffolding, but it is so much more active than that. It's like a built-in suit of armor protecting the really important stuff like your brain and your heart. And get this. Deep inside your bones, in the marrow, is a non-stop factory that's constantly cranking out the new blood cells you need to stay alive. Incredible, right? And what moves that incredible scaffolding? More than 600 skeletal muscles. 600! And here's the really cool part. They never work alone. They always operate in pairs. So as one muscle contracts and pulls, its partner relaxes. It's this beautiful, coordinated dance that allows for every single thing you do, from jumping as high as you can to just cracking a tiny smile. And wrapping this whole package up is that integumentary system. I mean, your skin. Did you know your skin is actually the single largest organ in your entire body? It's this amazing waterproof, self-repairing shield. It's your absolute first line of defense against germs. It helps control your body temperature, and it's packed with sensors that let you, feel the world. Okay, so we've got the building, we've got the walls. But who's in charge? Who's making all the decisions? Let's head upstairs to the C-suite of the body, command and control. These next two systems are the ones that coordinate every single thing that happens, from you deciding to take a step to the unconscious rhythm of your own heartbeat. First up, you have the nervous system, and you can kind of break it into two main divisions. You've got the central nervous system, that's the brain and spinal cord. Think of it as the CEO's office. It's where all the big decisions are made. And then you have the peripheral nervous system. This is the company's entire communications grid, a huge web of nerves that sends messages from headquarters out to every single employee and then relays messages right back. Now, what's really amazing is that a huge part of this network just runs itself, completely on autopilot. It's called the autonomic system, and it basically has two modes. There's the sympathetic system, which is your fight or flight response. It jacks up your heart rate and gets your body ready for intense action. And then there's its partner, the parasympathetic system. This is your rest and digest mode. It calms everything back down and saves energy. It's a perfect balancing act happening constantly. Now, working right alongside that super fast nervous system is the endocrine system. If the nervous system is like instant messaging, this system is more like sending out a company-wide memo. It uses chemical messengers called hormones, which are released from glands like your thyroid or pancreas. These hormones travel through your bloodstream to manage the slower, more long-term stuff like your metabolism, your blood sugar, and how you handle stress. All right, so our company has its building, it has its leadership, but it's not going anywhere without power and a way to get supplies delivered, right? So that brings us to our third part, fuel and transport. These are the systems that are like the body's engine room, its power grid, and its entire delivery fleet all rolled into one. Let's meet the logistics team. You've got the digestive system, which is in charge of bringing in all the raw materials. Then there's the cardiovascular system. That's the massive highway network that's going to transport all those goods. And, of course, the respiratory system, which provides the one thing every single cell needs to do its job, oxygen. So let's just follow a shipment of fuel, say a bite of an apple. The journey starts in your mouth, where chewing and saliva start breaking it down.
From there, it travels down the esophagus into the stomach, which is basically a big muscular bag that churns it all up with acid. And finally, it moves into the intestines. And this is where the magic happens. All the good stuff, the nutrients, are absorbed into the body to be used for energy.
At the very same time, the respiratory system is handling our oxygen supply. With every breath you take, air comes in through your trachea or windpipe, then splits off into these branching tubes called bronchi and goes deep into your lungs. And deep in there, a crucial trade takes place. Fresh oxygen gets loaded into the bloodstream, and the waste product, carbon dioxide, gets kicked out. So how does all this vital stuff get delivered? It travels on the circulatory highway. Think of it this way. Arteries are the big, high-pressure freeways carrying that fresh, oxygen-rich blood away from the heart, out to the rest of the body. And veins? They're the lower-pressure return roads, bringing all the used, oxygen-depleted blood back to the heart and lungs for a refill. Okay, for our final stop, we're going to meet the body's team of specialists. These are the highly advanced departments that handle things like internal security, sanitation, and waste management, and, well, ensuring the entire organization has a future. We're talking about the lymphatic system, which is our internal security and drainage crew. Then there's the urinary system, our super sophisticated filtration plant. And finally, the reproductive system, which has the absolutely incredible job of making sure this whole organization can continue on. Okay, let's talk about a system that seriously does not get enough credit, the lymphatic system. This is an incredible network of vessels, kind of like a parallel highway system to your blood vessels. It acts as both a janitor and a security guard. It drains away waste and extra fluid, but it's also dotted with lymph nodes, which are like little security checkpoints that filter out and destroy invaders like bacteria and viruses. It's an unsung hero, for sure. And just as important is the urinary system. Your kidneys, wow, these things are absolute marvels. They are master filtration plants that process your entire supply of blood over and over again all day long. They pull out all the waste products to make urine, sure, but they also carefully fine-tune your body's levels of water and salts, and they even help manage your blood pressure. And all of this, brings us to maybe the most important takeaway of all. There's that famous quote from Aristotle, "The whole is greater than the sum of its parts." And that has never been more true than with the human body. Not a single one of these systems works alone. I mean, your muscles are useless without commands from your nerves. Your circulatory system is just pumping useless fluid without oxygen from your lungs. It's the seamless, perfect integration of everything that is the real marvel. So in the end, your body isn't just a collection of parts or some clunky machine. It's a fully integrated, self-healing, unbelievably complex society. Maybe the best way to think about it is as an orchestra, with trillions upon trillions of musicians all playing their part in perfect harmony. And the symphony they create? Well, that symphony is you.